Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good citizens of Nigeria, good citizen every Nigeria, and good evening, every Nigerian out there. You are all good citizens, and we believe you are all good citizens. This is the Good Citizen Radio Show. It is proudly brought to you by CSR in Action, and it is sponsored by ACT, Aspire Coronation Trust Foundation, and also held in partnership with Inspiration FM and Zenero Consulting and Domino's Pizza as well. This is going to be an exciting evening, actually. First of all, I'll just give everyone out there heads up. I'm your host for this evening, Dami Vera Cruz. Bekeme is still not back from her engagement, but she will definitely be back next week. And I'm sure you all will be excited to hear her voice once more. Alrighty, now to get into it. I hope all of us have had a lovely week. It's been a very busy week with Lagos traffic up and down, and people have been complaining about that traffic. Please, if anybody out there knows the solution to this Lagos traffic, please come and help us. We are willing to accept your assistance. Right? So I hope all of us are not being frustrated by the traffic. I'm sure eventually one of these days it will reduce when a very viable solution comes up. And that's what we are all here for. We are not here to ask what the government can do for us. We are here to think of what we can also do for ourselves and the government, and we can help to push ourselves forward. And like I mentioned today earlier on, the ACT Foundation is the sponsor of this show. Aspire Coronation Trust Foundation is a grant-making not-for-profit organization established in 2016 to support local, national, and regional non-profit organizations working to address challenges and associated vulnerabilities across the African continent. Man, they are doing so much. That they are doing plenty. If you are listening, know that our foundation is doing plenty. I beg, if you are calling today, help us to thank them. If not for them, we will not be talking to you today. And that is the reason for our topic today. We're going to take a quick shift out of our health focus, and we're going to go into enabling social change. This is going to be the second part. Remember earlier this year we had the CEO of ACT Foundation here, Osai Alile, who was actually going to be talking about her the breakfast dialogue, and that went amazingly well. And we are going to continue on again today. I remember last week I said it that, our foundation have released and opened up applications for their grants. So most of us heard that, but we didn't understand it. So let me try to. Today we are going to address that. So here is for those of us who own an NGO, who are maybe part of the board of an NGO, or if you know somebody who is running an NGO and sits into these areas, we'll go into those areas in a bit. And maybe you're even thinking of opening your own NGO eventually, opening your own foundation. These are the things you could be thinking of by the time you're getting out there. Maybe what can I do, or what do I need to focus on to be able to get those grants from every organization, especially ACT Foundation, which is an indigenous grant-giving organization. We are not going to be going to the other ones. We cannot name names, but they are indigenous and they are right here today. And so I will take that time to introduce two of our guests, really. We had two guests in the house today. Please, where's my shekere? I need shekere. Oh, yes. Yes, very, very well. Two guests in the house today. And let me introduce one of them. First of all, I'm not going to ask her to apologize. I'm going to apologize to her, right? Because I'm not really sure how I want to pronounce this name, but I know I can. Her name is Ndifreke Okweguna.
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. Great. She is the head of programs for ACT Foundation, and she is a seasoned non-profit or professional with over 13 years experience in the social sector with strengths in entrepreneurship, leadership, and health. She is a member of the Institute of Management Consultants and a certified consultant providing support to non-profit organizations on organizational development, non-profit leadership, operational effectiveness, and non-profit governance and succession planning. She is passionate, I can even in my conversations with her, she is very passionate about sustainability of NGOs, and which has driven her to provide support to startup NGOs and social enterprises to build strong business models that will ensure long-term sustainability of those organizations. as well as long-term impact, which is the main thing that NGOs are out there for. We create social impact. So welcome to the show, Ndifreke.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and our second guest is Adeshola Bello. She's the Executive Director for Freedom Foundation, and she has 15 years experience in operations and business management with comprehensive experience in managing cross-functional business operations, project planning, and execution. She uses an analytical approach to assess opportunities and facilitate strategic decisions and drive successful implementations. And although her area of focus is small business consulting and management, but she has proven abilities to motivate teams and drive revenue growth through operational excellence, outstanding customer service delivery. And she also demonstrates innovative and strategic approach to every project she has handled, and she continues to deliver on great results. Thank you so much for joining us today as well. Thank you so much. So remember the number to call if you have any questions at all about, any NGO questions. Ndifreke is here. Remember, we read her profile for you. She's a very strong NGO consultant. She will help you move you to the next level. Right? So remember again, our foundation actually, are focused on 4 key areas. In fact, no, let me not do it. 4 key areas. We'll have given a twist or quiz. And because we're always saying this in every show, we'll have given a twist. Although who can call and tell me those 4 key areas? But we'll keep it for another day. Since she's here, we'll keep it for another day. And those 4 key areas are health, entrepreneurship, environment, and leadership. And under the health areas, they focus on malaria, maternal and child health, cancer, that's for breast, prostate, and cervical. And for entrepreneurship, their focus is on vocational skills acquisition and financial inclusion. For environment, it's waste management, water and sanitation. And for leadership, it is youth and for thought leadership. So remember I said that today we're going to be discussing about this ACT Foundation grant. So my first question actually goes to Ndifreke. So how does ACT Foundation support non-profits and other social impact organizations?
Thank you very much, Dami. We appreciate your having us today on the show to talk about the ACT Foundation 2020 grant. So ACT Foundation has been providing funding support to NGOs over the past 29 months now. We're just over 2 years old.
Okay.
In that time, we've had 3 grant cycles, and this is our 4th grant cycle that we're about to start. Mm-hmm. We realized that a lot of non-profits, the challenges that a lot of non-profits would come up with that have is actually funding for the projects or great initiatives that they have, but do not have enough funding for it. So ACT Foundation is in existence to provide that funding support so that way more of the non-profits that have great initiatives that are reaching people in low communities or indigent communities in rural areas can actually effectively implement programs that will change lives. Mm-hmm. So apart from the funding that ACT Foundation gives through grant making, we also provide capacity building support to the non-profits that we work with, because we believe that there are different expectations from different funders. And because we're an indigenous non-profit, we understand the terrain that we work in. Mm-hmm. We understand the challenges in the sector. We understand that non-profits require certain support to be able to effectively implement. So we do not set expectations that they are not able to meet. Mm-hmm. So we work with the non-profits that we fund to ensure that they can effectively implement the projects that we fund for them. So we provide them that funding, provide them capacity building, particularly for their teams. Mm-hmm. We also provide them with consulting services, working with other private sector organizations, so that the skills that we have within the private sector can be harnessed or leveraged by the social sector, so that we can do more in creating social impact.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of very very intense kind of work for our foundation. I'm even us being a grantee know how it feels, and which will actually go me through my next question to the our second and our co-grantee in the house. So tell us a bit about Freedom Foundation.
Okay, thank you for having me. Freedom Foundation is also a non-profit organization that is set up to reach out, to give hope, to rehabilitate, to educate and empower. And we do this through community-based initiatives in order to achieve individual and community transformation. And we have 3 core programs. So we have what we call the House of Refuge, which is a drug rehab program. We have Genesis House, which is a residential rehabilitation for young ladies who have been sexually abused, who have been trafficked, and who are ex-sex workers. And then we have the Empowerment Project, which is a project funded by ACT Foundation. Which is to, provide vocational skills, opportunities, and life skills opportunity for unemployed youth in the community.
That is really great. Even I follow Freedom Foundation a lot, and I kind of see the work that you guys, do. So before we continue on, and there are plenty of questions. It's going to be a very interactive session. And before I continue on, we'll definitely go on a short break. And when we return, we'll continue the conversation. Do remember that if you have anything to say, you can always check out us on social media at Good Citizen NG. That is at Good Citizen NG. If you have anything to say at all, any questions to ask, you can also WhatsApp us on 0906 263 4111. That is 0906-263-4111. And when we return, you can also call us on our phone number 0700-923-923-923. I'll say that again, 0700-923-923-923. And we'll go on a break right now.
Are you a non-profit or social enterprise making a difference? ACT Foundation is providing funding and support to impact-based organizations across Africa. Over the last 3 years, we have supported 49 organizations who have gone on to impact over 200,000 lives, and we want to support even more amazing work. To apply for the 2020 grant cycle, submit the online application at actrustfoundation.org. You'll need to 1. Be a registered African non-profit organization, community-based organization, or social enterprise. 2. Have been in operation for a minimum of 2 years. 3. Have projects or initiatives in health, entrepreneurship, environment, or leadership. Together, we can build sustainable societies and create effective social impact solutions.
Hello, and we are back. Welcome back to the Good Citizen Radio Show. I'm your host for this evening, Ndifreke Cruz, and I have with me today Ndifreke and Adeshola. Ndifreke from AC Trust Foundation, and we also have Adeshola from Freedom Foundation. So today we're just actually briefly talking about, the ACT Foundation grant, and it's grants, giving grants most of the time. Most people is like, give me money, let me go and do my work. But it's generally not like that. There has to be some level of monitoring and evaluation. You just don't get money for no reason. There's no free money. If there's free money, you have to question it. You literally do have to question it, especially in our climb in Nigeria. If someone gives you money like that, you will say, bros, please, where did you get it from? You just don't collect it like that. So in a manner of speaking, so tell me about this grant. What kind of people can apply for this, grant?
Okay. So our expectation is that the people that are applying, the non-profit organizations, so NGOs, CBOs, so that's community-based organizations and even social enterprises.
Right.
However, these organizations have to be duly registered. So it cannot just be a pet project that you're running and you want to apply. You have to be duly registered and it's actually running.
Okay.
That people that have registered NGOs maybe 10 years ago, they haven't done anything in a while, and then, this grant is available, they now want to, So what we encourage is that NGOs that are duly registered and are currently running, because our funding is not just in Nigeria, it's also across Africa. Okay. We're looking at non-profits that are registered in whatever country that they are in. So indigenous non-profits that are registered legally in those countries, we would support those sort of organizations. these organizations have to be implementing projects across our 4 focus areas. I'll just repeat them again. So under health, we fund cancer, which is prostate, breast cancer and cervical cancer. We fund malaria projects. We fund maternal and child health. In enterprise, we fund vocational skills, so vocational education or skills acquisition. And we also fund projects in financial inclusion. With regards to leadership, we would fund projects or programs in thought leadership. And then in environment, we'll fund water and sanitation and waste management. Those are the 4 areas that we're funding.
So that is very good. And Adeshola, you said something about the program that our foundation is sponsored. Tell us a bit more about that particular program and how you've been able to create impact through that program that our foundation has sponsored.
So the program is essentially an empowerment program. So it's under the entrepreneurship focus area for ACT Foundation. So it's community-based. So we go into different local governments. So every batch we choose a specific local government. And then we go and we network with local government officials, partner with, the local chiefs, talk to them about the program, let them know that we're trying to support unemployed youth within their community, underemployed youth as well, because you have some who have jobs, but, the income they're earning from those jobs is not enough for them to, actually sustain their lives. So the program is essentially a 3-month program. We start off with life skills training. Because we believe that it's not just about empowering an individual with vocational skills. They also have to have the life skills to sustain that. So even if you send someone to a training school to learn, maybe for instance photography, they have to have the discipline to be able to, first of all, start and complete that process, and then also ensure that they're able to use that skill, to better their lives. So the first 2 weeks is we focus on life skills training like time management, communication skills, etiquette, decision making, purpose, all of those things. And then afterwards, we enroll them in different vocational skills. And the way we do it is we also ensure that those skills and those centers that they're enrolled in is within that local community, because you find that some of those unemployed youth are not really willing to spend money on transportation to move from one place to the other, even to learn the skills for free. So we ensure that we network with local facilitators around their neighborhood and then pair them up with those, centers to learn the skills. And then within that period also, within that 3 months, we ensure that we're monitoring, their progress. We ensure that, there's an attendance for every person that, is enrolled. And if they have any challenges during that program. And then also the facilitators are committing to training them. So it's not just, sending them to that facility, but we ensure that there is a curriculum, there's an expectation of what they're supposed to learn within that period. And there are, specific ways to assess that they're learning. And then when they complete the program, there are 3 possible tranches that they can fit into. So they either start a job, they get a job, or they enroll in internship program to continue learning, or they start businesses. So those are the 3. So over the years, the 3 years that we've been working with the ACT Foundation, we've empowered 565 people through life skills training. And then over 306 beneficiaries have graduated from the vocational skills training.
That's great.
So it's been really great. Just 2 days ago, we had another program. We launched a new program in Adeshola local government. And we had some beneficiaries from the past batches that came in to speak about their experience and what they're doing. And actually, we employed one of the photographers, one of the guys who learned photography from the last batch. And so we employed him as the photographer for the event. So we've had a lot of testimonies. A lot of them have started their businesses. Some of them are working. So we have out of the 306, about 204 of them are running a petty business. Because one of the things that we also do at the end after graduation is that we equip some of them with a startup kit to be able to start their business.
All right. Okay, that is a lot of, 565. That's a lot. That's a lot of entrepreneurs out there already, actually in a situation where everyone is saying there's no job out there, and you know what, you create the job yourself, you train yourself and build your skill, and get out there and do what you can do. That is really amazing. So I'll open the phone lines. Anyone who has any questions, you can call in on 0700 923 923 923. Again, that is 0700 0700 923 923 923. All right, you even touched on it a bit, that you actually mentioned that means Freedom Foundation has been with that foundation since inception.
Yes.
Right. So that's an amazing information. And to you, Ndifreke, what are the restrictions? I'm sure you get over millions and millions of applications, thousands, millions, running. There are loads of NGOs in Nigeria, and we at CSR National are aware of this because of our partnerships as well. But what are the restrictions on funding? Okay, we have a call. I'll just hold that thought. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my name is Abraham. I called earlier as well.
Your name is what? Abel?
Abraham.
Okay, hi, good evening, Abraham. This is the Good Citizen Radio Show. And
yes, good evening. I called to tell that, yes, of course, what can a blind man do? I cannot do anything. What can I do?
That's a very interesting
question. That's my question. Goes to both of your guests.
Okay.
I cannot do anything. I'm 31 years old now. I don't know. I'm just confused totally about myself. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's why I just called.
Okay. That's a very interesting. So, Freedom Foundation, do you think there's something you can say about?
I think that maybe a skill that you'll be able to work on would be something that has to do with like customer service, where you don't necessarily have to use your hands.
Yeah.
I think something like that may work, or in the call center, something like that. Yes, might work.
So, if Abraham, if you're listening, there is. I will put this out there. All hope isn't lost. As long as you are alive, there is something you can do. Really, not being able to see is just one restriction. I'm sure there is something out there, and I'm sure we can definitely work with you to find something. If you just send your number or something or text message to 0906 263 4111, I'm sure there is something out there that we can use and find that will help you enter the society again. So you were about to answer the question about the restrictions.
Yes. So our foundation typically will fund any of these NGOs, as I mentioned before, who can apply for the program. But sometimes we see applications from individuals who apply for funding for ACT. So ACT Foundation will not fund an individual. We only will fund organizations that are registered and have been in existence for at least 2 years. We also will not fund any organization that is involved in any malpractices, or we find that you've mismanaged the grants of funds in the past. We typically will not fund political parties or campaign groupings, those sort of things. We will not fund because you have to be a registered non-profit. But if you're doing work in that area in terms of policy, which would relate to our leadership focus area, then that's something we can fund. We also will not fund organizations that advocate or promote any form of inhumane policies, illegal activities. Most people will ask, how would you know that? We will do due diligence on all the organizations that we select to actually fund. So we won't fund those sort of organizations. We also expect that the organizations that they are not involved in any form of terrorism. A lot of non-profits are working in the Northeast. We want to ensure that the organizations that we select are not in any way dabbling or encouraging terrorism in any way. So those are some of the sort of restrictions that we'll have. Apart from that, we can fund anyone that fits.
Okay, that's great. And I know we are already running out of time, unfortunately. So just a quick one. How can NGOs out there and those that actually meet the requirements, how can they apply for this?
Okay. So right now, our grant cycle is currently running. The grant cycle opened October 1st and is going to end October 31st. The information on applying for the grant is available on our website. You visit www.actrustfoundation.org. That's .org. www.actrustfoundation.org. Okay. On the website, you will find information such as frequently asked questions, the criteria, what are the guidelines for applying for the grant. It's a very simple application process. Okay. If you just go on the website, you'll find all the information that you need and you can apply for that.
Okay, that's very, very good information. And for Freedom Foundation, just a quick one. If anyone has any questions in particular and wants to reach out to Freedom Foundation and wants to partake and wants to be a beneficiary from the entrepreneurship skills and the entrepreneurship training that you do, what can they do?
So they can also visit our website, which is www.freedomfoundationg.org.
Okay.
Or they can send us a DM on Instagram, which is at freedom_FDN.
Okay.
At freedom_FDN.
Okay.
So they can send us messages.
Okay, that is super great. Thank you both again for coming on the show today and enlightening all of us out there. So all of you that are out there, I hope you've heard very clearly. And for Abraham, remember just to send a number or something. I'm sure there is something out there that we can find for you. The world, they say the world is a small world out there, but it's still a big world. There's so many opportunities out there. And, again, once more, you've been listening to the Good Citizen Radio Show. With me for this evening is Dami Vera Cruz, Ndifreke, and Adeshola. Again, once more, I must have to thank you. And thank you again to ACT Foundation. You've been a very massive support, and trained. ACT Foundation, they just don't leave you hanging. They say, take the money and do what you need to do with it. No, they follow through every step of the way with little trainings out there. If there's something you're having a challenge with, you can always ask them. So it's not like they will give you money and leave you alone, which most people are always looking for, but ACT Foundation will be on your neck. Say, what are you doing with our money? So all of you that are out there, NGOs, CBOs, that have been registered for at least 2 years, you're registered with the CAC, you have your proof of registration. There are so many things out there. You can always visit their website on www.actrustfoundation.org. Again, that is actrustfoundation.org. You will find all the information you need there. Again, thank you so much for listening this evening. To those of you that want to partake, it's not too late. The deadline is October 31st. It is definitely not too late. Apply now. Don't wait out. Don't be saying that we do it tomorrow. Procrastination is not good. Please do it now. Alrighty. Thank you all so much for listening. Again, this is the Good Citizen Radio Show. It's a blessed evening for all of us. All of us are sitting inside traffic. I hope you get home soon. We are hoping for the best. Oh Lord, thank you and have a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. Again, I'm your host, Dami Vera Cruz, and have yourself a blessed weekend. Bye-bye.